Well, thank you for joining us today. Today we have Anna, our resident nutritionist, who is, correct me if I'm wrong, Anna, you're a dietitian and a health coach.
I am, and I practice lifestyle medicine as well, but I can explain that.
Amazing. I'll leave that with you to explain. But welcome, Anna, today. I know you're covering a lot of different topics very briefly, but you will also just explain what a one-on-one consultation looks like with you. And there's a slide at the end for everybody to have a look at how to contact us and book a session with Anna as well. So please put some questions in the chat box if you have any. I'll manage those and we'll ask them at the end. And hopefully we get some good information and some good questions going for today's session. I must say I've been thinking about everything I've eaten this morning leading up to this. So without further ado, over to you, Anna. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you very much, Sally. And it is a great pleasure to be here today, to be doing this webinar and to be talking about all things nutrition and wellness. Today's webinar is all about optimizing your health with nutrition. So as Sally mentioned, I'm Anna Koisgen. I'm a dietitian. I practice lifestyle medicine, which I will go through a little bit later. And I'm also a health coach. So all of that just basically means that I help people like yourself achieve optimal health and nutrition using nutrition and lifestyle, so you can live the quality life that you want to live. I've worked with thousands of clients for over 20 years, and it's my passion to help people like yourself achieve great health and wellness. So before I get started, I just want to ask you, we're 10 to 12 weeks into the new year, and I'm wondering how many of you might have had New Year's resolutions this year that had something to do with improving your health that you haven't followed through with. Or maybe you've had something on your mind for quite a while that you're interested in improving in terms of your health. So maybe you're interested in achieving a healthier weight or improving your body composition. Maybe you want to eat better so you have more energy. Maybe you're wanting to manage one of these chronic diseases. So hypertension, high cholesterol, pre-diabetes, type 2 diabetes. Maybe you've just been diagnosed with something like fatty liver, or you have hormonal health or gut health issues that you're interested in fixing, or simply you just want to feel better. The research does show that at least 90% of our New Year's resolutions fail. And certainly when it comes to health goals or having to change diet and lifestyle, not for a week, but sustainable change, a lot of the time it comes down to not what you don't know, but how you actually go about it. So many of my clients, when they first come to me, have quite a good idea about the knowledge about their condition, or they've read something, or they're quite informed about what they need to do, but they just can't seem to put it into practice. I wonder if that's happened to you. So that's where I come as a dietitian and a health coach. I help you to identify these nutrition and lifestyle habits that might be sabotaging your health. Help you to create a plan that's achievable for you, and just all in general, helping you achieve this. So basically, this is how I help you achieve your optimal health and wellness. Okay, let me see. All right, so if this is you and you're wanting to do something better with your health, having a one-on-one consultation through the Leapwell platform will allow you to discuss these issues. Okay, so today we're going to delve into some topics that I get asked about a lot. So things like, what actually is a healthy diet? Personalised nutrition, healthy eating in the workplace, nutrition to support stress, food and mood, and lifestyle medicine. And of course, what underpins it all is our mindset. Okay, the nutrition industry as a whole, we've done a great job of confusing everyone when it comes to what constitutes a healthy diet. So the truth is there's many ways that you can eat a healthy diet. Nutritionists and health experts like to disagree about a lot, but we do actually agree on a few fundamental things when it comes to a healthy diet. So there's no one size fits all. Yeah, there's many ways that we can eat a healthy diet. If there's one thing to take away from this slide and potentially the whole webinar, it's this area here. So eating mostly whole foods and minimizing our ultra processed foods is the basics of a healthy diet. So when we talk about whole foods, we're talking about foods that are as close to nature as possible. They're nutrient dense. And we're trying to get rid of these ultra processed foods that are filled with sugars, fats and salts. They're low in fiber and nutrients, and they're very calorie dense. So an example, what's an example of a whole food? A chicken breast, for example, we can recognize that. Compared to over here, an ultra processed food might be something like a chicken nugget. Yeah, very different foods. A whole potato we recognize, a potato chip is ultra processed. So eating mostly these foods, these whole foods, and minimizing these processed foods, ultra processed foods, is a really great place to start when you want to improve your health in general. And then we can add on to that. There's plant-rich foods like your fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts and seeds. Eating lean proteins like your fish and poultry and plant-based proteins. Healthy fats, eating more of your unsaturated fats like olive oil, avocados, nuts and seeds. And of course, making sure that we're hydrated, so drinking plenty of water and limiting these really sugary drinks. We want to balance our diet. So with our carbohydrate, our proteins and our fats, we want to be able to have a good combination of those on a plate. And when I work one-on-one with you, I can show you how to visualize that on a plate. So it makes it a little bit easier when you're choosing the foods that you eat. A variety. We want to enjoy this diverse range of foods. So we're getting a diverse range of nutrients. Moderation and portion control is obviously important, and we want to personalize this for ourselves. And what do I mean by personalization? So each of us are very different. Yeah, we've got different individual needs. So we've got genetic factors to take into account, cultural background, personal tastes and preferences, and just what our goals are in general. We've got these lifestyle factors, so considering our daily routines and habits, our working hours, our work facilities. So have you got a fridge, a cafeteria, or local shops and cafes in your workplace that make it easy to, or not, to eat well? Are you a shift worker? That's going to change in terms of your preferences of food. Do you have young children at home with you or older parents that you're looking after? And that always plays a part in, what you're actually putting onto the table and how much energy you've got to produce all these, what it seems like all these different meals. How can we just all eat together, but potentially all eat in different ways? Have you got certain health conditions that are already existing that you need to be aware of? Or do you have something newly diagnosed? Have you got allergies or food intolerances? All these types of things, when you consider it, make sense that we take a personalised approach. And this is, again, where a dietitian like myself can help you work out your specific needs and how to best eat for your personal reasons. So I wonder if your workplace is set up to make it easy for you to eat and stay healthy, or is it a real challenge where you work? Does your workplace have a kitchen that you can use or a fridge to store healthy foods? Or are there food options near your work, or are there not? It's been many years since I worked in corporate, but when I did many moons ago, in our little cafeteria, there used to be this big glass jar filled with these Tim Tams. And I'm not a chocolate lover. I don't really like sweets. I'm a lot more savoury. But I used to go into that cafeteria every single day and I'd have my cup of tea with my Tim Tams. I'd have my cup of coffee with my Tim Tams. But the point being, I had a lot of Tim Tams. So you might have something similar with biscuits and chips and things that tempt you all day. So how do we set ourselves up for success so we're not going in there and eating all these Tim Tams all day, all the other foods that, are just calling your name, it seems like, all the time. So how do we overcome those challenges? Okay, in an ideal world, it's best to bring your own food to work. And this, of course, is not possible for everyone, but it's in the ideal world, this is what we'd be doing. We'd be bringing things like salad sandwiches with grilled chicken and lots of, or chickpeas or whatever, some lean proteins. We might have a whole grain wrap with some lean proteins and salad. Coming into the warmer months, you might bring a beautiful vegetable soup with some type of protein in there, or make yourself a poke bowl. Healthy snacks, instead of going for the Tim Tams, or before you go to the Tim Tams, you can have things like apple slices and nut butter, Greek yogurt with berries, nuts and fresh fruit, hard-boiled eggs, edamame. There are many, many beautiful healthy snacks that we can bring that are at least going to make us feel full before we look at what's in the cafeteria getting offered to us. And overcoming those challenges. So I work closely with people on how to say no to things. So another thing when I was working in corporate was when it was someone's birthday, someone would bring a birthday cake. And although that's really lovely, every second day we'd all be eating birthday cake. And again, I don't even like sweets, but I was too afraid to say no to these people because I didn't want to offend anyone. So I can help you on lots of different ways that you can say no to people. Okay, so nutrition for stress. I get asked about this a lot. How can I eat better to help me bring down my stress or manage my stress better? So there are a whole lot of nutrients that do improve our cortisol levels, our stress levels, and help us reduce inflammation. So those nutrients are things like omega-3s, so our cold water fish, also things like walnuts, chia seeds, flax seeds, magnesium, so it helps regulate cortisol and produce serotonin, which is our happy hormone. So things like spinach and avocados, almonds, bananas, cashews, legumes, vitamin C. So this reduces cortisol and improves our immune system. So things like citrus fruit, capsicum, berries. Tryptophan, this is an amino acid that gets converted to serotonin. So things like turkey and chicken and eggs and oats, bananas, milk, meat, legumes, and soy proteins. It's across quite a range of foods. And of course, antioxidants. So these are in our dark berries, dark chocolate, green tea, and those types of foods. So they're the nutrients that support our brain and our cortisol levels and help bring them down. Also, things like stabilizing our blood sugar levels can really help in stressful situations. So eating foods that don't spike our blood sugar levels and then find us crashing, a few hours later. So eating regularly throughout the day can help. Eating eating low glycemic index carbohydrates, so things like brown rice and quinoa and oats, give us that slow, steady release of energy. And of course, including protein-rich foods like the protein-rich foods that we mentioned before, they slow the sugar release and prevent these energy crashes. So it's really important, again, to have this combination, a good combination on your plate. Gut-brain connection, so things we would have heard about the gut-brain connection. Foods that support that are things like probiotics, so our yogurts and our kefir and kombucha and our fermented foods like that, and fibre-rich foods. And of course, we can't forget lifestyle practices for nutrition. So things like meditation, breathing techniques, yoga, mindfulness, and exercise all help support stress levels. I like to say that we don't eat nutrients. We eat food. We can get very obsessed about this nutrient and that nutrient, but we actually just eat food. So again, how does this what does this diet for stress look like? It's the same type of diet that we talked about before, focusing on whole natural foods, increasing fresh fruits and vegetables, reducing processed foods, balancing our plate and planning our meals, and practicing mindful eating, just being just a little bit present with your food as opposed to eating while you're at your desk or whatever. So food and mood, the gut-brain connection, I just mentioned it before. So the gut and the brain are communicating all day, every day in this bi-directional pathway, and diet really influences the pathway and our mental well-being. So additional to the nutrients that I mentioned for stress, there are additional nutrients that we want to look at to support our mood. And these nutrients are things like vitamin B6. So including things like eggplant and spinach and salmon and tuna and nuts and legumes. Vitamin D, so low levels are linked to cognitive decline and that real feeling of poor mood. Zinc, foods like oysters, seafood, meat, fish, legumes. A deficiency in zinc has been associated with a risk of depression. Selenium acts as an antioxidant and can improve reducing inflammation. So things like Brazil nuts, seafood. And again, so these are our brain and this is our gut. So the brain-gut connection. The gut loves things like probiotics, our microbes, so things like yogurt and kefir and kimchi and sauerkraut. And then the prebiotics. I mean, we could do a whole presentation on just this tiny little bit of information here. The prebiotics are things like asparagus and onions and bananas, oats and leeks. And there's a very big, long list of these prebiotics. The prebiotics feed the probiotics. So when we talk about gut health, we want the probiotics, the microbes themselves, and we want the prebiotics which feed them. So that's the brain, that's the gut, and of course, lifestyle practices that we need to include as well include things like prioritizing sleep, having 7 hours plus, managing stress levels, daily exercise. Those types of things are really important in a holistic view of improving our mood. So when we look at stress and when we look at our mood and we look at all these nutrients that we've talked about, how can we bring that into a practical sense? How do we go and get some more vitamin 6 and get some more zinc and get some more selenium? A great way to think about this is to think about the Mediterranean diet. So this has been, the Mediterranean diet has been shown to be the most effective dietary approach to help with stress, mood, and other things like reducing the risk of heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and certain types of cancers. Again, for those of you that don't know the Mediterranean diet, by the way, it's a dietary pattern inspired by the traditional cuisines of countries bordering the Mediterranean diet. The foods are very high in, rich in whole foods, similar to what we talked about before. Healthy fats, so olive oil is the primary source of the fat of the Mediterranean diet. Lean proteins, and it's very low in processed foods. The best thing about the Mediterranean diet is that it can be adapted to many other cuisines. So if you prefer an Asian cuisine, you can incorporate more tofu and vegetables in your stir fries. Have a little bit of sesame oil alongside your olive oil and choose whole grain rice. If you prefer something like Mexican cuisine, you can swap out the white tortillas with corn or whole wheat tortillas. Use avocado as a healthy fat. And if you prefer an Indian cuisine, you can focus on like lentil-based dishes, use lots of spices like the turmeric and the cumin, and serve it on brown rice instead of white rice. So it's a very adaptable diet. Okay, I discussed that I practice lifestyle medicine. I help people use lifestyle medicine, and really, lifestyle medicine just takes into account, or it's a holistic approach to wellness. So it takes into account these lifestyle things like prioritizing sleep, managing stress, doing exercise, looking after our relationships, and finding the joy in life, which sometimes, and a lot of the time, that gets missed in this whole area of wellness. We forget about having fun and what's life all about. So these lifestyle factors, diet is a very good place to start when you want to improve your health, but lifestyle factors are equally as important to incorporate. I mentioned before that lifestyle mindset matters. So working on your mindset is crucial when you're making healthy changes to your diet and lifestyle. It can empower you to overcome challenges and maintain lasting habits by shifting your beliefs and those attitudes towards food and health in general. So change can be uncomfortable, but it's important that it doesn't hold you back. Potentially you've tried something before and it's failed and you just don't want to go there again. Identifying what's stopping you moving forward. And hesitation and procrastination are common when making changes to our diet. Like, how do we do it? We want to do it, but we don't want to go for it. We don't know how to do it. So it can really stop us in our tracks and just stop us moving forward. And of course, there's so much noise out there about nutrition and wellness that, a lot of people are just unsure and confused. They just don't know how to go about it. And again, that's where I come into it as a health coach and a dietitian, is working with you one-on-one to uncover these mindset things that can be holding you back and putting into more of a success mindset as opposed to the mindset that's holding you back. It's a really important factor, this one. So what to expect on a one-on-one consultation with myself? It looks a little bit like this. So first of all, we have a look at where you're at with your health right now, what you're eating, what your lifestyle is. Together, we make a personalised plan. So I can suggest things to you, but I want it to be your plan. I want you to feel empowered that you're part of this. It's not just me telling you what to do. Sorry, before we do the plan, we obviously look at your goal setting and we make sure that we've got achievable goals, that they're clear and achievable, and that they can change over time depending on where you're at. We personalise the plan, and then obviously I give you ongoing support, and we can adjust the support as we go through. And most people say that they like working with a health coach or a dietitian because that they feel like they're accountable, at least just to get started. They feel like they've got someone to to run it by and say this has worked and this has not worked. So my role is to be your partner in this journey, to encourage you, give you the expertise, and work together with you to help you get the outcomes that you so desire and deserve. So hopefully you've been able to take away a few tips on how to have healthier lunches and snacks while at work, have some foods to include to support stress and mood, and alongside some of these lifestyle suggestions. So if any of you feel like your health could be in a better place, or you want to turn your health goals or New Year's resolutions into a reality this year and actually do them, I would love to work with you. I would love to work beside you and help you get to where you want to get with your health. So if you book a consultation through the Leapwell platform, that would be fantastic. And yeah, I would love to work with each and every one of you. So thank you very much for your time today.
Thanks, Anna. That was so good. Just for everybody's reference, if you do want to book a consultation with us, there is the contact number and the email address. You can reach out to our intake team. I have so many notes, Anna. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Sorry about cutting you all off.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I have so many notes on, you just forget to eat a wide variety of foods. At the supermarket, my shop is the same every week. I get the same things.
Yes.
You just forget to switch it up.
Yeah.
And, so that was really informative for me. I do have a couple of questions if you've got a few more minutes.
Of course, yes.
Okay, so do you have any tips for how to mindfully eat?
Such a good question. Sorry, is there more to that question?
They're just eating too fast.
Yeah, because
Just
we're
eating
busy,
too fast,
right?
gobbling it all down.
Yeah, look, we are very busy, and eating mindfully, it sounds all lovely, and putting it in practice can be a lot harder than, what it sounds. But basically, eating mindfully is about being present with your food. Yeah, yeah. So one good thing is to get all the distractions away. Eating now would not be a very mindful practice because I'm talking to you. So turning the TV off, the screens off, and actually be there with your food. We eat with our senses, so smelling your food, looking at your food, and using those senses to actually decide, wow, this is usually my favorite food. I don't actually feel like it today, or it tastes a little bit different. It's funny that I eat this food, it's not something I would usually have, just really being very present with it and taking your time eating that food. So a lot of the time when we rush our food, we can eat almost twice as much. We've all been there. So really spending the time to just stop at the beginning. How hungry am I at the moment when I'm about to eat? Halfway through, am I getting full? Do I feeling hungry? And afterwards, how full am I now? So if you're starting off really starving, it's pretty easy to eat a lot of food. And then we can actually finish and go, oh my gosh, I've just eaten too much.
Yeah.
And if that's you, maybe eating, when was the last time I ate? If it was a long time ago, maybe I needed a snack so I wouldn't rush too much. Or maybe that breakfast or lunch or whatever needed to be a better meal.
Yeah.
But there's lots of different activities I've got to work through with people. So if that is of an interest for people, working one-on-one can really, we can go through lots of different practices.
Great, thank you. Just a couple more questions. What are some snack options to combat the afternoon slump?
Oh, yeah, great. So avoiding sugar is probably the number one thing. It's the most tempting thing because we're tired. Like we're just, if you were to look at the Tim Tam jar, that would be calling your name at that time. So things
I did love the story about you eating all of those Tim Tams, by the way.
Oh, I ate so many of them. My goodness, I couldn't get enough of them. And like I say, I'm not a sweet eater, but we go for these really low GI carbohydrate foods, these very sugary snacks, because it makes us feel good straight away. Something better is pairing the protein with the carbohydrate. So yogurt with berries, nuts and fruit. Those types of things, even a mini leftover lunch. So if you had a chicken salad, a little bit of that. Avoiding sugar and including proteins, probably the best thing you can do.
Yeah, okay, I might take that on board too. And one that I completely resonate with, how do you get your kids to eat more veggies?
Oh, well, yes. My children are 20 and 18, so I've had a lot of practice with this. Oh, look, there's lots of different ways. Obviously, if you're making spaghetti bolognese, which a lot of people make, or some sort of food like that, grating vegetables into that goes a long way. And if you've made a meal and they're like, oh, my God, I can see this, that, and the other, next time you do it, blend it up a little bit so there's less of it. It's good for kids, for young children, to see that you are eating vegetables, though. So actually showing them that, this is a little bit of broccoli, or this is some avocado, or that's a little bit of mandarin, or whatever it is that you're eating, showing that the parents are eating it or the brothers and sisters are there trying it. And I always had with my kids, I said, you just got to try it. You just got to try it. You don't have to eat it. You just got to try it. And of course, no. And one day they go, oh, that's delicious. And you think, what on earth? And if my child went to your house, they'd eat everything that you gave it. It's just that.
It's so frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah. And you can make lots of, there's amazing websites. And if I was to work with people one-on-one, I can show you these websites. Some people are really creative. They've got all sorts of homemade biscuits, healthy biscuits and stuff with all sorts of different veggies in them. So, yeah, where there's a will, there's a way.
Great.
But don't be afraid to show that and be proud that, this is healthy. And you can say, if they're into soccer or netball, you can say, this is going to help with your soccer. That's like much better than saying this is healthier.
Eat it, shoving in their face. Which I've been known to do.
Oh, yeah, same.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Anna. I've gotten a lot out of this, and I hope that everybody joining has and will also. Once again, through your organization, you can utilize the services of Anna by contacting the 24/7 1300 number or our intake team via the email, or simply book with Anna via Leapwell Plus. So that is us for today. I hope all the wild weather around the country just settles down at some point and everybody's safe. So thank you very much. And hopefully we see you again sometime, Anna.
Thank you, Sally. Yep,
Bye.
pleasure. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.